Today I'm going to show you all you need to know about preserving vegetables. In this video you will learn how to create your own stock of preserved vegetables, starting from what to harvest and replant in the garden at this time of the season, to create a full pantry which will last for months. And if you stay till the end, I'll show you why this container is my favorite method, which takes literally 30 seconds to use. I'll be uncovering the mysteries behind the curtains of different preservation techniques, from canning and freezing to dehydrating and fridge storage to ensure no waste. By the time we wrap up this video, you will be a preservation pro. First of all, what's the foundation of a great preservation? It starts in the garden. Here we have the vibrant tomatoes, weird looking cucumbers, and look at those corn ready for picking. Oh my god! Knowing how to grow food ensures a non-stop supply of fresh produce. But how do you learn what and how to garden? Well, you could look it up online, but it could quickly get pretty confusing because there is a sea of information out there. Now, I've been there, scrolling endlessly, getting overwhelmed by all the do's and don'ts. Instead, start by identifying your growing zone. This will give you a clear picture of what thrives in your region and when. Next, don't be afraid of interacting with the local community, or you could always buy my new book. Always experiment. Some of my best garden successes, they've come from good old trial and error. And yeah, don't worry about getting your hands a little dirty. Let's dive deeper into the preservation techniques. Starting from one of the most common methods, canning. Canning is a fantastic way to keep your vegetables fresh for a long time while maintaining their flavors. But what's unique about canning is that it uses heat to kill any bacteria, fungi, or enzymes which can spoil your vegetables. Plus, you won't be using any chemicals or preservatives. For beginners, start with simple recipes like tomato sauce or pickled cucumbers. For cucumber pickle, sterilize your jars in boiling water and add a splash of vinegar for spotless jars. Add a mix of 2 teaspoons peppercorn, 3 cloves of garlic, 3 stems of dill. Measure the length of your cucumber slices on side of your jar to use it as a reference to cut all the slices so they fit perfectly in the jar. In the meantime, mix 500 ml of vinegar and 500 ml of water with 3 teaspoons of salt and heat the liquid until the salt is completely dissolved. Pour the liquid in your jars and leave a headspace to clean the rim with vinegar. Seal the jar with your sterilized lids without touching the inside. Boil the jar again for about 10 minutes and leave to set until cold. And now the final test. You can compress the top with your finger to see if they are sealed completely, and you shouldn't hear any sound. You can now remove the protective ring, lift the jar from the lid to double check if it's sealed. However, it could get pretty pricey due to the amount of tools and ingredients you need to start canning food, and you will end up with a full pantry but an empty wallet. I know what you're thinking. This is way too complicated. I'm not doing it. Don't worry, let's do something easy now. Today's video is sponsored by EBOOK, and today I'm testing probably the most high-tech and yet super sustainable item I ever used to preserve food. And it's extremely durable. It comes in different colors and sizes, and it has a minimal impact on the environment. The packaging is made from 100% recycled and recyclable paper. It comes with a tool called Droid, which is made interlocking blocks without any screw or glue to facilitate the recycling process. And even the shipping has a minimal impact on the environment. The way it works couldn't get more straightforward. Place any fruit or vegetables raw or cooked inside the container, and by clicking a button, in just 30 seconds it will suck out the 95% of oxygen, holding the nutritional value, taste and color of your food. To test it, I will pick fresh apples from my garden, cut them down in slices and store the exact same ones with a normal container and the new EBOOK. I'll come back in 5 days and reveal at the end of the video the final result. Coming up next, we got freezing. Simply chop your vegetables, blanch them in a bath of hot water and icy water, and pop them into bags or containers in the freezer. You might be wondering, what's the big deal with blanching? It's a quick boil followed by an ice bath. And it does 3 crucial things. It locks in the vibrant colors, it stops the enzymes that can degrade flavor and nutrition, and it ensures a better texture. But there is a catch. If frozen leafy greens can turn into a soggy mess. Now, if you're low on space, dehydrating might be your best bet. Imagine turning this into this, all while preserving its nutritional punch. All you need is a cheap dehydrator like this one. The energy consumption is extremely low, and you just slowly dry food to preserve the flavor and all the aromas, so you can store it in jars and make a nice visually appealing pantry like ours. You can get a decent dehydrator for just $40. A standard dehydrator usually has 6 layers, and you can set different temperatures, times and weights till they are dry at the touch. You can set the lowest temperatures just so you don't over dry the herbs and end up with a bitter taste. You can dehydrate almost anything, from fruit, salt, stock powder, or even dandelion roots to make your own coffee replacement.
Ma stai leggendo il tuo libro?
Sì, allora. On the flip side though, it's time consuming, could be noisy, and you still need loads of jars to store your dehydrated food. If you're stuck with storage, there is a way to preserve and improve the flavor of your food called fermenting. You can make your own fermentation jar by buying a few components from IKEA, like a glass jar from the 365 Plus series, plastic lid from the same series, and order online an airlock with grommets. Now drill at the center of your plastic lid, fit your grommets and airlock, and voila, you have a cheap DIY fermentation jar which you can use over and over. I just harvested a massive cabbage from my garden, and I will use the fermentation magic to make sauerkraut. It's an age-old method that not only extends the life of your cabbage, but also boosts the nutritional value with probiotics. Just remember, cleanliness is key. Use sterilized jars and make sure to keep your veggies submerged under the brine. To make sauerkraut, you only need 2 main ingredients: cabbage and salt. Slice your cabbage thin, weight it, and add 3% of the volume in salt. Mix in the salt. Pack it into jars. If the cabbage didn't release enough water, add filtered water and mix in 20 grams of salt until fully dissolved for every liter of water. Once your jar is full, add a tiny bit of water to your airlock so it acts like a valve to release trapped gas. Soon the natural bacteria will do its thing and you will get delicious, tangy sauerkraut ready for consumption. So it has been 5 days. Let's check our EBOOK test. I used exactly the same apple stored in a normal container in our new EBOOK. To open your EBOOK, just lift the rubber band. The first thing I noticed was the color of the apple. One is definitely starting to go brown, and the other one is almost still the same as when I cut them. Now the real test. Let's taste them. First, the normal container. Not a pleasant taste, and I can definitely tell it's a bit old. Now let's try the one in the EBOOK. It's still crunchy, tastes fresh, almost as when I picked it from the tree. I'll score it a 9 out of 10. I'm so impressed with the result that I will leave a link in the description. But if you're looking for more ways to preserve food, you got to watch this video, which is even easier than the previous methods.